Tacoma, welcome back to your second grade TV classroom. Today is Friday, November 6th, and I'm Mrs. Oslin. As always, let's take a moment to check in with our emotions. Think about what zone you're in. Practice thinking about your I message. Your I message sounds like, I feel because And then think about how strongly you're feeling your emotion using your feelings thermometer. Take some think time. I'm going to practice sharing my I message with Gus. Gus, I'm feeling thankful because I was really tired this morning, but then as I was driving to work, I saw Mount Rainier and it was so pretty with the pink sky behind it, and it just really helped my mood and helped wake me up. Now it's your turn to share your I message with your learning buddy, someone in the room, or with me on the screen. You'll remember we've been talking about the 3 personal standards. The 3 personal standards are the decisions that we make and the way we behave when we're learning together. And it's really important for all of us to agree to the 3 personal standards so that we all feel safe thinking and speaking so that we can all learn together. So let's review our 3 personal standards. And I want you to put a finger up and say each one with me. Show respect, make good decisions, solve problems. And we've been talking a lot about solving problems this week using our stop and stay cool steps. When you get to a point where you're at a 4 or a 5, feeling really strongly on the feelings thermometer, that's when you need to stop and get back in control before you do anything on the peace path, before you have a conversation with anyone, so that you don't do or say something that you could regret or that could hurt you or someone else. So let's practice. The first step in stop and stay cool is you say, I feel like I'm losing control. Practice saying that with me. I feel like I'm losing control. The second step is stop. Practice doing that with me. Stop. The third step is you give yourself a chilly hug. So practice wrapping your arms around and squeezing yourself. And then the fourth step is breathing in for 5 seconds and then breathing out for 5 seconds. So let's practice doing that together. Here we go. Then hopefully you're cool and ready to think about your I message and share it with someone else. And that is the first step on the peace path when you're having a conflict or a problem with someone, is you tell the problem using an I message. And we learned that that also means that whoever it is that you're in a conflict with, you need to say it back. Say back their I message so that they know and you know that you really heard them. And that sounds like you feel because And both people take turns sharing I messages. The second step on the peace path is to brainstorm win-win conflict solvers. Win-win conflict solvers are solutions where both people get some of what they want and both people feel okay with the solution. Step 3 is you have a discussion about what your ideas were about how to solve the problem, and then together you decide which win-win conflict solver you're going to try. Now, we are finishing up our writing unit, and we've been talking a lot about adding sensory details to our moments to help us be really descriptive so our readers are really interested in our writing and they want to read it because it's interesting to them. And yesterday, we talked about how writers go back and reread their writing to make sure it makes sense, make sure that it follows your timeline. And we did that by reading the book and thinking about how we can add special things before we publish, such as a dedication or a blurb about you as the author. Who are you? And today we're going to learn how writers edit their writing using a checklist to make their writing easier to read. So what you will need for your work today are your Learning Buddy, your second grade ELA packet, and the writing that you have been working on after you chose a piece to decide to work on it to get it to publish. So you'll need your writer's notebook and your pencil. So go gather those materials and then come back to me. Okay, now that you have your materials, let's talk a little bit more about the difference between revising and editing. Revising is adding things like descriptive words to make your writing better. Editing is where we're going to change what we already have to make it more accurate. We're going to look at capitalization, punctuation, and spelling in our writing so that our readers are able to read it and they don't get stuck trying to figure out what a word is. So in your ELA packet is this editing checklist. I want you to have this out in front of you along with the piece that you're working on to edit. And you're going to think about in your writing, you're going to look at your writing and make sure that each sentence begins with a capital letter. You're going to make sure all proper names begin with capital letters, such as your name or the names of the people or characters in your writing. You're going to look at the punctuation. Those are the marks at the end of your sentences. You're going to make sure that each sentence ends with a period, a question mark, or an exclamation mark point. And we've been talking about how second graders write, and as you write, you add a period and then a capital at the beginning of the next sentence. Now, we're going to edit and go back through and make sure that you correctly did that with all of your sentences. And if you didn't, then we'll fix it. You're going to make sure that if you used commas and quotation marks in your stories, that you use them properly. Then we're also going to look at your spelling. And if there are words that you weren't sure if you spelled them correctly, you circled them and we'll go back and review them and make sure that they are spelled correctly so that your reader can really easily read your writing. Now, today we're going to look at Tony Fusile's book, Let's Do Nothing. And this is a book that we have read before, and we're going to see how he, as an author, uses an editing checklist. And we're going to use this editing checklist to look at his writing and make sure that he has proper capitalization and punctuation. So you'll remember this is a book about two characters who feel like they have nothing to do because they've done everything. And that's when they get inside their imagination to think of what else they can do. What are we going to do now, Frankie? I don't know, Sal. So let's think about capitalization on this page. And there's two places where Tony, our author, has capitalized words. Look really closely and think about where has Tony used capitals. Take some think time. Now, share with your learning buddy the capital letters that you noticed that Tony used in his writing. Gus, I noticed that Tony uses capital letters at the beginning of his sentences, and he's capitalized both Frankie's names and Sal's name, which is on our editing checklist. That's also on your second grade chart about where to use capitals that we've been working with this week. So if you used that chart yesterday to go back through your writing, hopefully you noticed that you should have a capital at the beginning of your sentence and at the beginning of people's names. I think we've done it all. We've played every sport ever invented, painted more pictures in a day than Van Gogh did in a lifetime, baked cookies to feed a small country. Now, notice in Tony's writing on this page that this is all the beginning of one sentence, and he has separated his ideas using commas. Commas can be used when you're listing ideas, which is exactly what Tony's doing here. We've played every sport, we've painted more pictures than Van Gogh, and we've baked enough cookies to feed a small country. Those are 3 ideas that are all part of the same big idea of what Frankie and Sal have done. So it's all part of one sentence, but they're 3 separate ideas, smaller ideas. So when you go back through your writing, use your editing checklist and make sure that you have used commas appropriately, like Tony modeled in this book. Played every board game we could find, read every comic book that, okay, let's stop talking for 10 seconds. All right, 10 seconds of nothing. Now here I'm noticing that all of the words in Tony's book are spelled correctly. And that's because he went through his editing checklist way before he actually published his book. So if there were any mistakes, he would have already caught them. Now today, when you go off to independently write, you're gonna go through your writing, use your troublemaker list of words, and use your tackle a word chart to help you make sure all of your words are spelled correctly. You could also use your Snap Words book to help you. That's it. Now I'm noticing one thing that Tony did here. The font is bigger, and that's really to get his readers' attention. And that's not on our editing checklist, but it's definitely something that you can do to revise your writing. You can change the font to get your readers' attention. But he also used an exclamation mark at the end of this sentence because he didn't just want his reader to read it, that's it. He wanted you to read it, that's it, because this is a really exciting point and part of his story. So that's part of using punctuation appropriately, is that think about how you want your reader to read what you've written and use that punctuation. Tony also could have used a question mark if he wanted you to read it, that's it? Asking a question. And we talked about that earlier this week, different punctuation, where second graders use a punctuation and a capital as they write. Now you're going to use this editing checklist as you read your writing today. And you're gonna make sure each sentence begins with a capital letter. And if it does, check. You're gonna make sure all proper names begin with capital letters. Go back to your capital chart that we talked about earlier this week, and it should be proper names. That's names of people, names of places, names of products that you have in your writing. And when they all have a capital letter, check. You're gonna look at punctuation. Make sure each sentence ends with a period, question mark, or exclamation mark. And if it does, check. And if you use them in the story, you have checked commas and quotation marks and made sure they are spelled correctly. And if they are, I said spelled, placed correctly, excuse me. Make sure your commas and quotation marks are in the right place. And then you're gonna look at spelling. And words that seem misspelled have been circled and an attempt to respell them has been made. And if it has, check. Then you can have someone else read your writing, and over here, partners edit. This is where they will go through and put a check mark. And I'm gonna tell you, it can be really hard to let someone else read your writing, but it's a really important step as a writer to get someone else's eyes on your writing, because they might notice something that you didn't notice, and it will make you a stronger writer. So be brave and let someone else read your writing and edit it for you. Today we learned how writers edit their work using a checklist to make their writing easier to read, so that when your reader, once you're done and published, your reader goes through and reads it, they're not going to get stuck on words that are misspelled, or not knowing where sentences end or begin because the punctuation isn't there, or the capitals aren't there that need to be there. So your independent work today is to edit your writing. Go through, make sure everything is correct as best you can, and then you're also going to rewrite it if it needs to be rewritten. When you go to independently read today, you're going to look at your nonfiction text features and use the text features in your text to help you determine key ideas and figure out, what is this text all about? These two charts, we've talked a lot about them the last couple weeks. They're really important to help you as a strong writer, especially as you go through and edit for spelling today. You can use these words to make sure that your troublemaker words are spelled correctly. You can also use your snap words book to help make sure your snap words are spelled correctly. You can also practice reading a page in your snap words book in one of the ways that this chart has. So you could read it loud like a monster, scary like a witch, squeaky like a mouse, whisper like a secret. Or, and I've been trying to get you to do this all week, invent your own. If you come up with your own way to read a page in your snap words book and you want me to see it, you want Mrs. Wally to see it, ask your adult if it's okay if they film you, and then they can email it to us, and we'll play it here on TV Classroom, if that's okay. But if you don't want it played, we won't. But we will share it, your idea, with all the second graders in Tacoma. You could also write us a letter explaining to us how you read your word wall or read a page in your snap words book, and we will share that with the second graders in Tacoma. Okay. Now is your break time. You're going to make sure that you take care of your needs, but you're also going to gather your materials for math. You need to have your whiteboard and marker. You should already have your learning buddy and your counters. Just a reminder, your independent work for writing today is to edit your writing and then work on your independent reading, building your reading stamina. Thank you so much for reading and writing with me this week. I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.
Hi, second graders. Welcome back from your break. I'm so glad you're here. It's Friday. That means we get to do some fact practice. Are you ready? All right. Mr. Kevin's going to show us our slide, and I want you to see how quick can you get that fact. What is 7 plus 8? Yeah, it's 15. How did you know it was 15? Guess, what did you do? All right, so you knew that 7 plus 7 was 14, and one more was 15. Pebble, what did you do? Oh, you knew that 8 plus 8 is 16, so minus 1 is 15. Very good. The answer is 15. Let's go to the next one. 9 plus 9. What is it? 18. It's one of our doubles. That's one of those ones you really have to know in a snap because it helps you solve other problems. What is 12 plus 2? 14. Very good. Just 2 more. What is 15 plus 5? I know that 5 and 5 make 10, which means I'm going to have another 10. So 10 plus 10 is 20. Excellent job. 16 plus 4 is? Yep, 6 and 4 makes 10, so 10 plus 10 is 20. You've got it. Today, we are exploring different strategies for solving subtraction problems. Now, yesterday we had a little glimpse into using the number line. We're gonna back up a little bit today and go a little bit slower and see what you think and see if it helps you understand it more. Use the hundreds chart to solve. Now, we don't have a hundreds chart here, and I don't have one right now. So what I want to do is, instead of using the hundreds chart, I want us to use an open number line because that's what we're practicing using right now, right? So on your whiteboard, I want you to draw a line. And now we're going to look up here and we're going to do what we did yesterday. What do we know? We're subtracting. So this first number is our whole, and we have a part and a part. What are we trying to find? We're trying to find the part. That means we're trying to find the amount in between the part we know and the whole number. Are you ready? So, what part do we know? 40. And what's our whole number? 42. Friends, how far is it? 2, right? 40 to 42 is just 2. Okay, that one was easy. What are you noticing, Gus? Oh, you don't think these are going to take the number line? You think we can do them mentally in our brain just by looking at the whole and the part and thinking about the difference? Let's try, second graders. We're subtracting again, so this is a whole, a part, and another part. We're trying to find a missing part. What's the difference between 50 and 54? Yeah, it's 4. Okay, here's our whole, missing part, part we know. What's the difference between 80 and 86? Yep, 6. Kiss your brain, second graders. Excellent work. What's the difference between 70 and 79? Because friends, whole, part, part. What's the difference? 9. Excellent work. All right. We're going to read through and do our 3 read, and then I'm going to give you a moment to solve this on your own. And then we're going to go through it together. And we're going to look at how the people in the curriculum solved it with a number line. So I want you to really try to use that open number line today if you can. If not, you can use tools and help in any way that helps you solve it. But give that number line a try. Are you ready? Okay. There. Excuse me. There are 34 art projects in a contest. There are 9 paintings. The rest are drawings. How many art projects are drawings? So, what's happening? There's an art contest. And there's drawings and paintings. Okay, what are we trying to figure out? How many art projects are drawings? Okay, what do we know? We know that there's 34 art projects. What else do we know? 9 are paintings. So how would we put that into a bar model? What would we do? Let's draw our bar. We know we're dealing with a part whole. We're not comparing, right? Okay. What are our parts that we're dealing with? Drawings, please have this on your board. Paintings. And then all of them are art projects. Okay, question. What are we trying to figure out? Where's the question mark gonna go? How many art projects are drawings? So where are you gonna put that on your bar model? In the drawings box, yeah. Okay, what information can we put on here? 34 art projects, so that goes up here, that's our whole. 9 paintings. What do you notice? You have a whole and a part. Write an equation, solve. 2 minutes, go. Yep, they're doing a good job, aren't they, Gus? Okay. You could have written this a few ways. You could do either of those work. Or you could have done same problem, I just put 34 on either side. Okay, how did you solve it? Some of you tried the number line. Let's try it out. Let's give it a try together. Okay. What are the numbers I'm trying to find the difference between? Remember, when I'm trying to find a part, I'm trying to find that amount between the two numbers. So 34 and 9. Okay. Did you count by tens first? Guess you wouldn't do tens, you would go to the next 10. Okay, so I'm gonna add 1. That's gonna get me to 10, 20, 30, 4. So we've got 10, 20, 24, 25. 9 plus 25 equals 34. Awesome. Did that work for you? Great. If not, what way did work for you? Did you use base 10 block drawings? What did you do? Did you get 25? So how many art projects are drawing? 25 are drawings. And if I ask you, how do you know? Turn and tell your learning buddy, how do you know it's 25 drawings? What did you do that proves it? You know because the difference between 9 and 34 is 25. There's 25 between those two numbers. Or you could say, when I had 34 and I took away 9, I got the answer 25. Either of those work great. Awesome. Okay. So let's take a look at what they did. Now, it says, here are some ways to find 34 minus 9. Start at 9 and add up to 34. Is that what we did here? Started at 9. Look at that. looks very similar, doesn't it? They did go to the next 10, 9 plus 1, and get to 30. 10 plus 20, and get to 34. 30 plus 4. The total jumps 25. 9 plus 25 equals 34. So 34 minus 9 is 25. Now, yes, Gus, I noticed they did something different. Do you notice that they did something different on the number line? Let's try theirs. So erase this off, make a number line. What did they do? Take a look. What did they do there? It says subtract to make a 10. Oh. Okay, so they knew they were doing 34 minus 9. So they're starting at 34, and they're gonna hop back 9. And they're saying, well, I wanna get to the nearest 10, just like I did the other way. So 34, and I'm gonna take away 4, and that gets me to what? To 30. And so I've taken my 9, and I've decomposed it. I've split it into 2 different addends. I've used 4 of it. Now, if I have 9 and I use 4, how much is left? 9, and I've already used 4. How much is left? 5. And look, they said 30 minus 5. So 30 minus 5 equals, 25. So 34 minus 9 equals 25. Both ways got us the correct answer. Pretty cool, huh? All right. Why does the number line in problem 2b show a jump of 4 and a jump of 5? Why did they do 4 and then 5? Private think time. Why did they do 4 and then 5? Go ahead, tell your learning buddy. Why did they do 4 and then 5? Yeah, they were trying to subtract 9. But they wanted to get to that benchmark 10 because that's easier to subtract by. So they subtracted 4, which 9 is made up of 4 and 5. Right? They decomposed, they pulled it apart. They decomposed the 9 into 4 and 5, and then used those on the number line. All right. Digit. What's a digit? We're going to spend a few minutes on this. What's a digit? Digit. What's a digit? Well, you know it must have something to do with math. Okay. Well, let's write a number down. Let's write the number 76 down. This is a digit. This is a digit. This is a number. Let's try another one. This is a digit. This is a digit. This is a number. What is a digit? This is a digit and a number. What do you think? Gus, what are you thinking? Oh, Gus said, maybe it has something to do with the place value. You're on the right track, Gus. A digit is the symbol in a place value that tells us how many there are of that value. This 7 is in the ones place. That means there are 7 ones. This digit of 6 is in the ones place. Means there are 6 ones, which gives us the number 6. This has 7 ones and 5 sevens. So the digit of 7 is in the ones place, and the digit of 5 is in the tens place. What number does that give us? 57. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 2-digit numbers. See where that comes from? It means there's 2 digits, and they tell us how many are in each place value. So I'm going to tell you there are this many tens and this many ones, and you're going to tell me what the number is, okay? So you're going to write the digits in the place value. So we're going to have the tens place. Go ahead and write this on your board. And the ones place. I'm going to tell you what digits are in the tens and ones place, and you're going to tell me the number. Are you ready? Put an 8 in the tens place and a 4 in the ones place. What number do we get? The digit 8 in the tens place, the digit 4 in the ones place. What number do you get? 84. 8 groups of 10 we show by putting the digit of 8 in the tens place. So a digit tells us how many of a place value there are. There are 4 ones and 8 tens, and that makes the number 84. Do you see? Let's do another one. I'm going to make this a little bit closer. Okay, the digit of 9 in the ones place and the digit of 6 in the tens place. Digit 9 in the ones place, digit 6 in the tens place. You ready? Very good. This digit means there's 9 ones, and this digit means there's 6 tens. Erase. Get ready. The digit of 0 in the ones place and 5 in the tens place. Digit 0, digit 5. What number did we make? 50. 5 tens and 0 ones. Without place value, digits actually don't mean anything, right? It means there's 5 groups of it, but if we don't know what place value, we don't know how many in each group, and we don't know what the number is, and the math doesn't make any sense. So we have to make sure we have the digits in a place value so we know. So, digit, what is it? It's the symbol that tells us how many groups there are in the place value. Tell us what you know about it, and then give some examples. Just like this. You could say 50, 5 groups of 10 and 0 groups of 1 makes the number 50, right? Now, single digit numbers, 7, they're special because they are the digit, but they're in a place value. What place value are they in? They're in the ones place. This means 7 ones, 7 groups of 1, which is the number 7, right? So this digit is also its number. So the one single digit numbers, that's why we get the name 2-digit, 3-digit, single digit. It tells us how many digits there are and how many place values there are. Isn't that cool? All right. You're going to do page 167, 168. You're going to talk about the word digit, and then you're going to solve some problems with subtraction on a number line. Today we are exploring different strategies for solving subtraction problems. Did we do that? Yes, we did. We looked at a couple ways to use the number line. We showed our thinking with a quick draw. We actually did the number line quick draw, didn't we? We did the counting up. We didn't show thinking with base 10 today, but we'll do that tomorrow. Sound good? Sounds good. All right. Here's our affirmation today, and it's one I need for today. Our affirmation is, my mistakes make me strong. Yep, I have made so many mistakes today. It's been kind of a difficult day for me, but you know what? My mistakes make me strong, and your mistakes make you strong. It's how we learn. Nobody learns without making mistakes. No one is perfect. I am definitely not perfect, and I definitely make mistakes all the time. But that makes me strong, and it makes me resilient. So, are you ready? My mistakes make me strong. Your turn. Excellent job, second graders. We will see you next week. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.